All right, all right, all right. Here we are. How's everybody doing today? This is Salty Boomer, and it is Tuesday, October 8th. October 8th. Oh my goodness. It is Tuesday, October 22nd. We are exactly 2 weeks out from the election, the big election. How about that? All right. So, like we do every afternoon for me and evening for a lot of you, and wherever you are watching this from, we are going to scroll Twitter and see what's going on in the world, see what's going on in the news, see what kind of current events we have, and we're going to talk about it. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Let's not start with Tim Waltz. A wise man once said, "You can't fix stupid, but you can keep vaccinating it until it dies prematurely." I didn't hear that wise man. Janet Yellen, the one that's been compromised and running parts of our government for the past 3 decades, has just announced another $20 billion of your money will be going to Ukraine. Isn't that just wonderful? Let's see, the people of Maui got $700 and it was a loan. The people in North Carolina got $750 and that was a loan. But no worries. This comedian, jackass, that they installed a few years ago gets another $20 billion. It's almost like they can just print money the way they just spend it. The Hodge twins, Epstein Island visitors, are voting for Kamala. Yeah, well, that's how they control these people, because they're all involved with this. And just for the YouTube to know, everything I say on this channel is complete nonsense, because I am a known liar. And why would you believe anything I say? It's all coming straight from my imagination. But that's how they control these people. They're either blackmailed, bribed, or threatened. And all the ones that come out like this, you got to wonder, okay, what do they got on this guy? Charlie Kirk. I still do not have my ballot. It's been 2 weeks. Yeah, well, they always pull some funny maneuvering and funny stuff out there in Arizona, don't they? Awakened Outlaw. I've long been a fan of voting on Election Day. However, Trump has been imploring us to vote early, so maybe that's what he knows something's up. Who knows? I'm sure we're going to run into some shenanigans before Election Day, which is 2 weeks from today. This is what Lake Lure looks like in North Carolina after Hurricane Helene. I wouldn't worry too much about the cleanup. I hear a few residents got $750 loans from FEMA. Yeah, that should be more than enough. Yeah, the place is a complete disaster area, but not to worry. FEMA gave them $750 that you have to pay back. Look at this place. An absolute, complete disaster area. What do you think? Think you could rebuild your life with $750? But you better invest it wisely, because you got to pay it back. Breaking E. coli outbreak linked to a McDonald's quarter pounders. Wow. What an interesting coincidence this is. Didn't Donald Trump just do a campaign stunt over the weekend at McDonald's that was completely ingenious and successful? And just so you know, I think the right and the left are both full of shit and they're both compromised. But I have to admit, that was a successful political stunt, and everyone knew it was a stunt. 2 days later, the CDC, the Center for Disease Creation and Promotion, comes out and says McDonald's has been linked to an E. coli outbreak. Seems like kind of a coincidence to me. But what do I know? Nothing I say on this channel is true. Everybody knows I'm a known liar. Okay, here is Kamala. I can't, I can't listen to her for longer than 5 seconds, but, and once again, I'm not right or left, but it really is a simple choice of, do you want to move forward or, do you want to move forward with this, quite frankly, incompetent idiot that has no business even being in that position of being running for president? Do you know the movie Idiocracy? That has, started out as a comedy. It's now a documentary. But if Megyn Kelly is saying she almost feels sorry for her campaign staff, then that's just another cringe fest going on there with Liz Cheney, the war hawk. Michael Knowles, why can't the most powerful democracy in the history of the world count all its votes on election night? Oh, come on now, Michael, you know why. It's because they have to see how many votes there are so they can find votes the next couple of days that puts their candidate in the lead. President Joe Biden says the quiet part out loud for Democrats about former President Trump. We got to lock him up. They love projecting and saying that that's what Trump is going to do, but Trump was already president once. Who'd he lock up? Nobody. Junior says they're not even hiding it. The lawfare against his dad was always about election interference. Well, it seems that the only way leftists can win at anything, because they've lost the battle of ideas and policies. They've lost the people. The only way they can win is by cheating and silencing their opposition. I saw a poll. I don't put much faith in polls, but I did see one that said 79% of the people say that we are heading in the wrong direction. And yet they say all the polls are 50-50. How does that make sense to anybody? How is it 50-50 if almost 80% of the people say that we're heading in the wrong direction? So this must have just happened here. 49 people are sick and one has died from severe E. coli outbreak linked to McDonald's. Well, that's terrible. But wow, what a crazy coincidence. All right, I guess he voted for the guy he wants to. Okay. Ashton Kutcher modeled before his breakout role on that 70s show. Ashton Kutcher modeled for Abercrombie & Fitch after winning Fresh Faces of Iowa. He is now planning to relocate to Europe to distance himself from the Diddy drama. Yes, the old Diddy drama. That could get real interesting in the coming months. Did you see that there's also an agency of the government that is planning on running a simulation event with a cyber attack on our computer systems. Guess when they're going to do it? I know this is crazy, but they're going to run the simulation on Election Day. Yeah, that's correct. Let's see if I can get the exact information here. Yeah, it's the AFCEA, the Armed Forces Communications and Electronics Association, is having a special cybersecurity exercise. The exercise is described as a large-scale interactive event with participants from federal, state, county, city governments, academia, and industry. The exercise will simulate a cyber attack on critical infrastructure. And coincidentally enough, they're going to do it on Election Day. Could that possibly be their cover story for when they have to go on in and figure out how many votes they need and pull off their fraudulent activities again this time? I don't know, but it seems awful strange that that would be happening the same day as our national election. And once again, don't forget, everything I say on this channel is complete and utter nonsense. Pure satire. None of it's true because I'm known as a known liar. Straight from my imagination. Looks like President Trump is in Greensboro, North Carolina. This is always an interesting one to me. Have you checked this out at all? It's Tartaria and old world buildings. And did we really build these buildings, or did we find them and repopulate them? It's quite interesting. And if you want to follow along, this guy Buck is a good follow on X. He keeps pointing this out. The Hodge twins, Joe Biden says we got to lock him up. See, here's the thing. They thought already he would already be in jail or dead. They're not counting. They were not counting on him surviving this to even make it to Election Day. Trump will appear on Joe Rogan's podcast on Friday. Well, that's pretty big news. There was talk before of Kamala going on Joe Rogan. That is never going to happen. The only places she goes is where it's pure scripted and she has teleprompters. She couldn't sit and talk for 3 hours about anything to anyone about anything. It's really quite embarrassing that she is a nominee for the president of this great country. She's quite possibly the most incompetent person I've ever seen running for such a high office. Well, I guess that's the news right now. Biden out there saying we got to lock him up. I don't know how this is. I don't understand how this is helping Democrats get people to their side. I guess a lot of people just hate Trump. They don't even know what they're voting for. It seems like the only issue that the Democrats are running on is abortion, which is an interesting topic and all to itself. But it seems like their only policy. Everything else is carry on, business as usual. So it looks like the two big stories right now are Biden say we got to lock them up, and McDonald's and their E. coli outbreak. Let's see. This guy says, I can show you clips of Don Trump being cruel, unhinged, and unstable. Old enough to be Kamala's father. Oh, Yeah, Hawaii. Here's another example of local citizen in Hawaii not willing to look at facts. Well, Hawaii is that way. That's where I'm at. I'm in Hawaii. That's why I don't even really I don't participate in the voting system. I've always said that voting is the illusion of choice and that they select and install, just like a toilet, their people that they want in place. However, with that said, this year seems to be a different situation. It may be that there could be enough votes to override the install of Kamala. We shall see. Kamala didn't just plagiarize Trump's policies and sections of her book, she also plagiarized congressional testimony. Well, like I just said a minute ago, she doesn't have a thought of her own in her head. She's the most incompetent person to ever run for president in the history of our country. It's really embarrassing as an American to think that she is a presidential candidate. But there's people that hate Trump so much that they'd vote for a rock instead of Trump. And it mainly has to do with the mainstream media. And people that only watch TV to get their information are very much programmed. That's why they call it TV programming. The only people who can rightfully complain when the shit hits the fan are those who refuse to vote. Both who serve the same criminal enterprise that despises you. Well, how interesting that Andrea Lynn would put that one up right after I said that I don't participate in taking part in this voting nonsense. And one of the reasons is that I do live in Hawaii. And by the time we vote out here, the presidential election's over. So I don't take part in it. But that's interesting that I just shared that. And here we have this statement from Andrea Lynn. Jake Shields is definitely on a mission against the Jews. A Mossad agent admits to killing our politicians and controlling our elections. It is time that America says enough is enough. An Israeli spy just threatened to murder Western politicians on Piers Morgan. Anyone who gets in the way, even if they are politicians in the West, they are going to fall. Yeah, they control everything. All you have to do is do a little digging. And I'm talking Republicans and Democrats, out of the entire 535 members of our Senate and representatives, I'll bet you there's 435 of them that are compromised through AIPAC money, which is a Jewish political action committee, and they are the only foreign nation that does not have to register with our government as a foreign nation donating to political committees. So you figure it out. You figure out who's running what. Yesterday, Kamala Harris exhorted her audience not to despair or feel overwhelmed. Today, she is taking the day off. And Scott Adams, the cartoonist that does Dilbert, said he already misses the joy. Did Elon Musk really purchase Twitter, or was it seized under Executive Order 13818? I don't know. I know that's an executive order that Trump passed, and it's been renewed every year by Potato Head Biden. About to take off on an American Airlines flight. The captain is a young black guy. The co-captain is a chick. And yes, I'm shitting my pants, says Nick DiPaolo. Well, what are you going to do? Wait for another flight? Probably not. Just get on board and hope that they are competent. Cat Turd says, tell me otherwise. Kamala Harris is the first candidate to be entirely created by the media. She has no record of accomplishments. Have you seen that book? All of Kamala's accomplishments? And it's blank. Nobody voted for her. Her popularity was in the toilet just a few months ago. Nothing about her has changed except that now the media is pushing her on the people nonstop. Exactly. She is an empty vessel. She is by far the most incompetent person I've ever seen in my long lifetime of presidential candidates. Just utterly and completely incompetent. Okay. Ariel sometimes has some good stuff. Live now, President Trump speaks to supporters from Greensboro, North Carolina. Apparently the soil. Now this is from Katrina. Well, apparently the soil after Hurricane Helene is nuts. I mean, horses and dogs are dying and people are getting burns and all kinds of weird shit. Elon just accused Eminem of being a Diddy party participant. I think a lot of people that follow Hollywood celebrities and entertainment celebrities are going to be in for a big surprise when some things come out about their heroes. I have never understood celebrity worship. It's always been a mystery to me. Even when I was little, I just didn't get it. But man, people are nuts about celebrities. Okay, 10 shocking stories that we didn't hear. Governor Roy Cooper of North Carolina just confirmed that certain areas won't be rebuilt, and they're buying out entire communities affected by climate change. Everything's always climate change. I got a question for you about climate change. Why are all the celebrities, politicians, one in particular, ex-President Obama, he has 2 properties on the ocean, beachfront properties. Why would they buy beachfront properties if climate change was real? And why would a bank give a 30-year mortgage or an insurance give you any type of insurance if climate change is real and rising sea levels are inevitable? First-hand experience, I live on an island for almost 40 years. 38 years I've lived on Maui. There is no, and I mean zero, rising water. But that's just me, and that's just my opinion. And as you know, YouTube, everything I say on this is bullshit. Liz S. says, yeah, the book has no pages. Yeah, Kamala's accomplishment is completely blank. Okay, what is this one? We're going to the moon. Does this make you want to vomit? Huh? Oh, talking about hero worship. Yeah, that's what I was just discussing. Yeah, Liz, you're right. That was quite a book. Completely full of blank pages. Very clever with whoever put that out. Teslas are the most female-friendly cars ever. I haven't hit a single curb since getting a car that drives itself. Well, Ashley St. Clair has a sense of humor about herself. Just in, a judge has ordered a large amount of Rudy Giuliani's property put into receivership as he faces massive civil judgments. What's wrong with poor Rudy? Look what they are doing, the Hodge twin says. Look what they are doing to the people that protested a stolen election. They're seizing their property. Wake up, y'all. We can't let them steal this one. I've seen some videos of people videoing themselves voting and claiming that the votes are being switched. But, that's what we have to do. We have to be the media now. The citizens have to be the media now. So record everything. Document everything. Because in 2020, the courts didn't hear any cases, or very, very few. They were all thrown out, nobody had standing, whatever that means. Nobody had standing. So none of these cases with clear evidence of election interference, if not flat out fraud, were never heard. So this time around, we need to document everything. And remember, YouTube, when I say there was election fraud, everything I say on this channel is complete nonsense because I am a known liar. It's made up from the depths of my imagination. Health insurance is definitely a scam. Larry Cook says, my health insurance is going from $780 a month to $872 a month. Can you imagine paying $872 a month for health insurance? And it probably doesn't cover anything that you, would actually need it for. And then you got the, usually about a $2,000 to $2,500 before it even kicks in that you have to pay. What's the word for that? I can't remember. Mark Meadows. I was in discussions featured at the Atlantic's latest hit piece against President Trump. Any suggestion that Trump disparaged Miss Guiana? Okay, I don't know what this is about. But if it's in the Atlantic, it's not good. Dear Eminem, you have been selected to be exposed. Yeah, a lot of these entertainers have got a lot of nasty stuff that they're going to have to be dealing with. Oh, yeah. Have you seen this one? What do you think of this one? Elon Musk claims that they sent up a rocket and the booster just floated back down to Earth and they caught it just like that, just from, here it is, just from firing off flames, just came back and landed and perfectly. I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, but apparently a lot of people are, oh yeah, that was great. Fantastic. All right, here's Buck with some more old world buildings. You telling me people in the 17th and 18th century built this monstrosity with hammer and chisel and horse and wagons? I don't think so. I think a lot of our history has been hidden and we've been lied to about everything. I think a lot of these cities were just standing there and we just found them and repopulated them. But that's a discussion for another day. Okay, let's carry on here. The left is getting bolder. Let's see what this is. Received this video from a follower in Erie, Pennsylvania. Their house cam allegedly captured two Kamala Walsh door knockers stealing mail from the mailbox before replacing it with their own. Here we go. This is the type of people. This is the type of people that leftists are. They take what isn't theirs. They feel they're entitled to whatever they want. The only way they can possibly win is to cheat and silence the opposition. It's beyond incredible. They have lost the battle of ideas and policies. So our border is now flooded with illegals so they can have somebody to vote. It's insane. But that's where we're at. Idiocracy. Kamala Harris, the most incompetent person ever to run for president, is running for president. Okay. Elon Musk is definitely all in for Trump. Jeffrey Goldberg, the journalist who lied to the American public into the Iraq war and fabricated the suckers and losers hoax, has just launched his latest October hoax. I need the kind of generals that Hitler had. Oh, they're here. Here's the Atlantic piece that they were talking about a minute ago, I guess. They're claiming that Trump is saying, I need the kind of generals that Hitler had. Yeah, when you're desperate, when you're losing, this is what happens. This is what happens. We got 2 more weeks, and then we're really going to see the fireworks. Yes, Liz, it definitely is insane. But that's the world we live in, isn't it? Idiocracy is alive and well. Yeah, we got to lock President Trump up. And of course, people think he didn't get shot. I don't know. What do you think? Did he get shot or didn't he? I don't know. I wasn't there. I think somebody got killed. So, I mean, bullets were flying. Or is that all fake too? I saw a patient today who has the power to help me out, but isn't willing to put her own neck on the line. Yeah, people are afraid to speak out. No question. It's not easy to speak out. They come after you. They try and ruin you. Try to get you fired from your job. Fortunate for me, that won't work. I'm retired. I do what I like. Okay, let's see. James O'Keefe has always got good stuff. A federal government whistleblower exposes $347 million contract for transporting unaccompanied minors. What you cannot unknow. There's no money to be made off of protecting children. There is, however, money to be made by buying and selling them. Also transporting them. Yeah, that's another one of Kamala's accomplishments. Accomplishments? Over 300,000 children are reported missing, and they have no idea where these kids are. That's just a report. I don't know that to be fact. Yeah, Liz says, I don't know if he was shot, but there was a person killed. Exactly. And I think there were two others that were wounded. So something happened there. Something definitely happened there. But whistleblowers are coming forward. And, these people are brave to speak out because they do come after you. As we found out just a little while ago, Joe Biden is saying we have to put Trump in jail. That's how it is. We got to put him in jail, or what else? So what happens? Let me ask you this. What happens if Trump wins the election? I think his sentencing is like November 19th for that goofy case in Pennsylvania, I believe it was. I don't know. But I think his sentencing is in like mid-November. What happens if they sentence him to jail? That'll be an interesting. He's the president-elect, and they put him in jail. You know what's funny, too? This is how short-sighted the leftists are. They cheated in 2020 to win. Remember, YouTube, everything I say is a lie. They cheated in 2020 to win. Had they just let it go Trump probably would have been the president. Neither Trump nor Biden would have been on the ballot this time. And the leftists would be completely done with Trump forever. Oops. No, they installed a potato head that ran the country straight into the ground. So now everybody's really pissed off, and they want Trump president even more than they did back then. This is the level of incompetence and just plain dumb that leftists are. They could have been rid of Trump forever. But nope. Now he's on the cusp of being your president again. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, it's not perfect. And this is the CEO of X, Linda Yaccarino. But you know what? X is the best place we have right now for freedom of speech. And again, it's not perfect, but it is way better than it used to be. And it's way better than YouTube or Facebook or any Instagram, any of them. X is the place to get real news and real opinion. And that's why I've started this program, and I'm going to go live every afternoon for me, evening probably for some of you. And we're just going to go through X and follow the news and the current events and talk about it. That's what we're going to do. So glad to have you aboard. True Stream Media. We live in a country where the burden of proof is on consumers to figure out, usually by getting sick, whether a chemical is harmful, not the companies producing said chemicals. Yeah, you look in the grocery store, you pick up a package of something you're going to eat. Look on the ingredients. If there's words on there you can't pronounce, if it's a paragraph long of chemicals, that's not food. That's poison. And then the same companies that poison you with their chemical laced products, they'll put a pink ribbon on and say that they're fighting against breast cancer. Well, how about instead of wearing a pink ribbon, you take all the chemicals out of the food that you service? I learned a long time ago that eating is very simple if you just use common sense. I only eat single ingredient foods. That's it. It's so simple. Single ingredient foods. Meat, eggs, fruit, vegetables. That's it. I put salt or butter or butter on my meat, vegetables, and things like that. If you're putting sauces on things, read the label on the sauces. They're full of chemicals too. Almost every product that's in a package is full of chemicals, and people wonder why they get sick. That's why. You know why there is no cure for the common cold? Because the common cold is the cure. Your body is detoxing from all the chemicals we get from our food, our water, our air. We're bombarded with chemicals. So when you catch a cold, that's just your body trying to get rid of toxins. Let it. It's doing you a favor. All right, Liz says, that's great. I'll try to tune in when I can. Well, thank you very much, Liz. I'm very happy you're here and welcome aboard. Liz also says, yes, lots of chemicals in the food, especially in America. Yeah. And how is that too, right? You see these comparisons where in the UK, the ingredients are, the basic ingredients. They're not allowed to put all those dyes and colors and crap and all kinds of shit in our food. But if you seriously, if you just adopt just eating single ingredient foods. It's so simple. You can eat as much as you want and you're good. You're not taking in poison all day long. Okay, American Papa Bear says, I have a sneaking suspicion that there's going to be civil unrest no matter the result of the elections. This is the calm before the storm. Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion he's right because if Trump wins, you know the leftists are going to unleash Antifa and BLM and all their other, they probably got a bunch more of them set up ready to go into cities and burn them down and bust out windows. You know how they roll. And then on the other hand, if Kamala somehow wins, well, people are going to say they cheat. And quite frankly, you got to believe that that's going to be the case. Because you look at the turnout for Trump, you look at the turnout, you look for Kamala, you look at the excitement, you look online, you go through this. 79% of the people are say the country's heading in the wrong direction, and yet the polls have it 50-50. Now they're going to have a cyber attack on election day, a simulation. There's things going on, folks. There's things going on. And I agree with American Papa Bear. Either way, this is the calm before the storm. 2 weeks from now, we could be living in an entirely different situation. Okay. This is what I said earlier. You're telling me the CDC announced an E. coli outbreak at McDonald's just hours after Trump served fries there? And it's not a political hit job? That's what I was saying, DC Drano. You're reading my mind. Okay, let's see. MAHA is so clearly a PSYOP. MAHA stands for Make America Healthy Again. And it's from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. But this person says it's a PSYOP. Hopefully we get to find out. Because if Trump wins, he's got RFK Jr. going to head up and try to get chemicals out of our food. He's got Elon set up to be the DOGE guy, Department of Government Efficiency, and he has mentioned and asked about cutting 80% of government. And I say, that's where you start. You start with an 80% cut and then go from there. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That is why I am rooting for Trump to win, just to see if these guys will actually follow through. And we will be here to call them out if they don't. We'll see if he follows through with Make America Healthy Again, and we'll see if Elon follows through with cutting government crap. All right, somebody voted. Good job. The Justice Department has confirmed that they've received an inquiry from former federal prosecutors and GOP appointees asking them to investigate the payments made by Elon Musk. So, do you know about this one? Elon Musk has set up, it's kind of like a raffle. If you go to this America Political Action Committee and sign the petition to be for the Constitution, America First, he is giving away $1 million every day from now to election to someone who signs that petition. Now, you do not have to be Democrat. You do not have to be Republican. You don't even have to be registered to vote. And you don't have to even vote. It has nothing to do with it. It's signing a petition to say that you are America first and you're for the Constitution. And if you do that, you get a chance to win $1 million. Well, the leftists are losing their minds about that too. And our corrupt Justice Department, who can't seem to find anything wrong with anybody except Trump, is now going to look into Elon's raffle system. OG Good Luck TV says he's watching from Nigeria. Wow. Fantastic. Welcome from Nigeria. And Liz says, I did see the headlines the other day, but didn't read it. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's all about. He's got a raffle. You know, you can maybe win $1 million by signing your name. You don't have to vote. You don't even have to be registered to vote. But the leftists are losing their mind. That's what makes it so funny. Yeah, Biden just called for President Trump to be jailed. We've seen that one. Okay, yeah. This is just the corruption that is in our government agencies. The CDC is just a revolving door of corruption. They go from the FDA to the CDC to lobbyists for government. It's just a revolving door of corruption. The chairman of CCDH's board is Simon Clark, straight out of the Atlantic Council's Digital Forensic Lab. Atlantic Council has 7 former CIA directors on its board and is funded by the UK Foreign Office. Yeah, the CIA isn't even part of our government. They are not working for the America's best interest. And remember, YouTube, everything I say on this channel is complete nonsense. Nothing I say is true, as I am a known liar. Everybody knows I'm a liar. It's straight out of my imagination that the CIA has nothing to do with our government and is working with Mossad. When I say that, you know that's not true. That is complete malarkey. The chairman of the British black ops firm, whose explicit written goal is to kill Musk's Twitter, works directly at the Atlantic Council's Censorship Center. Yeah, once again, the only way the leftists can win anything, because they have lost the battle of ideas and policies, it's to silence the opposition and cheat in the election and open the borders to millions of people coming in so they can use those people. Those people aren't going to vote, but they're going to use the numbers so they can cheat with the vote. And you know, none of that was true because I'm a known liar. Judges have dismissed RNC lawsuits in Michigan or North Carolina, allowing ballots from overseas voters to be cast in Michigan, even if the voters have never lived there. So, looks like the Republican National Committee had a lawsuit in Michigan and North Carolina trying to get ballots from overseas voters who have never even lived in those states to not be allowed. But nope. The judge, who is obviously controlled, has dismissed the lawsuit. It's just like all the lawsuits in 2020. None of them were even heard, or very few of them. And that's what we're up against, folks. That's where we're at. That's where we're up against. It's corruption on top of corruption, and these judges are compromised. They've either been bribed or blackmailed or threatened. You know what they do? You know how they threaten them? They send them a picture of their little child coming out of preschool. And they put a little note with the picture and says, "We would like you to rule like this on this item. Thank you." And that's how it works. That's how it works. So some of them, you know, you can kind of understand, but Most of them are just taking the money. Most of them are just greedy and their ego, and they take the money. Here's another perfect example of Tartaria buildings. We've got this building that these people found, and then here's the ones that they built. They built these here, these little boxes here, and these little boxes here, and they found this one and moved into it. Who's that? Aimer, 63 leg, watching from Scotland. Haven't seen you in ages. Yeah, hey, how's it going, buddy? Welcome from Scotland. Yeah, as you know, maybe other people don't, I used to do what I called the aimless news a couple years ago, and I took a break. Just kind of got tired of all the insanity going on in the world. But now I'm back, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go live every day, Monday through Friday, and we're going to scroll Twitter and talk about the news and current events and what's going on in the world, because X, it's not even Twitter, we're going to scroll X, because X is the closest thing we now have to free speech platform, and I'm allowed to post on there. And go ahead and follow me on X. I'm Salty Boomer, salty_boomer. Go ahead and follow me over there. I'm posting on there a lot. And we're going to do this live every day. So should be fun. And I'm glad you're watching from Scotland. I appreciate that. Donald Trump confirms he will be voting early. Okay. Okay, seeing lots of people in my comments claiming the Freemasons are the ones in charge and the Illuminati is the real boogeyman. So this one's for you. Every aspect of Freemasonry is Jewish. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. Okay, well, they're parading Eminem out there to do his thing. All these people that are compromising, they're making them go out and, if you're in the club, you know what I mean by the club, don't you? If they're in the club, they have to do what they're told because they're blackmailed. If they don't do what they're told, certain things get exposed. And those certain things are not good things. It's like once in a while when you see one of these athletes that comes out and he's wearing a dress, LeBron James. That's called a humiliation ritual. These people are told what to do. And it's not pretty. And so now you see all these entertainers. Yesterday was Usher, and he's directly related with Diddy. Now it's Eminem. I don't know what he is. Okay, Liz, yes, the club. I know what you mean. Yes, the club. If you're as old as I am, I went to see George Carlin in the 70s, and he explained about the club, and he said it's a big club, and he said we're not in it. That was in the 70s. This is nothing new here, folks. Nothing new. Okay, this is good here. Here's Eminem. I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution of what people will do if you make your opinion known. I think Vice President Harris supports a future of this country where these freedoms and many others will be protected. Now that is really hilarious after just reading headlines earlier where Joe Biden says we have to lock Trump up. We have to put Trump in jail. So isn't that interesting that Eminem is out there talking about, I don't even know, I don't have a name for her yet. I'll come up with something. Just incompetence personified. Harris is going to support a future of country where these freedoms are protected. You know why they're worried about retribution? Because that's what they're doing. See, these people, they project what they're actually doing. And what they think is, well, we do this all the time. So the other side must be going to do this too. And that's called projection. And that's what they do all the time. And that's what Eminem is talking about. And it's unbelievably funny because Biden just came out an hour ago and said we need to put Trump in jail. But that's how it is. And Wall Street apes, everyone involved with the Jeffrey Epstein client list and the Diddy case magically comes out in support of Kamala. Exactly what I was just saying. What a shocker. You're going to lose. Trump is going to release the list, and you're all going to get raided and rot in prison. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, all the people that follow and worship celebrities and entertainers, they're going to be in for some a shock. They're going to be in for a shock. I'll say that. Vaccines destroy children. Yeah, this is an incredible story right here. They are frozen in time. 2-year-old twin boys who each received multiple vaccines when they were 4 months old haven't developed any abilities since. This is crazy. This has to stop. This is another corrupt thing that doctors are involved with. I mean, they are rewarded handsomely to give vaccines. And these two got their shots when they were 4 months old, and they have done nothing since then. Now, once again, YouTube, nothing I say is true. I'm a joke. I'm a known liar. I'm known to be a known liar. Ask anybody. I'm a known liar. And everything I say just comes from the depths of my depraved imagination. Liz says, I like George Carlin. She's a little younger than me, but not by much. All right, Liz. Yeah, George Carlin was awesome. He was really funny. That's when humor was really good. All right. Governor Whitmer, the Wicked Witch of the North, is literally drunk at Kamala's rally in Detroit. She's slurring her words and can barely stand up straight. Do we dare listen to this? All right, let's go ahead and listen to this and just see. I can hardly stand, listening to these people, but let's see what she says.
He called Detroit a failure and a mess. Proving.
Just to point out, she can't even get a thought of her own out. She can't speak on her own. Look, every word she's got to look down to see what is written for her to say. She couldn't do a show like I'm doing right now where you just ad lib and talk because you have thoughts in your head. No, this is how leftists do it. Watch her read every word.
He called Detroit a failure and a mess. Proving he ain't firing on all cylinders. He doesn't have a clue what the hell he was talking about. And you know what I think? He ought to keep Detroit out of his mouth.
Okay. Yeah, they are panicking. I tell you, they're panicking. Liz says, did you see that Gates is going to be, is what? Going to supposedly in the Netherlands? I can't see it all because there's a stupid heart in the way of your comment. No, Liz, I didn't see that. What is that about? Okay, this is crazy. Why does it always happen in the swing states? You know why, Hodge twins? Because those are the states that they cheat in. All right. It's been about an hour. That's about as far as I'm going to go today. Zelda said it cost me $100 to fill up the gas tank and $500 to get groceries. I do not care if he is rude. That's a good statement for us to close up today's Scrolling X with Salty Boomer. I want to thank everybody that came on and watched and participated, dropped a comment, dropped a like. Follow me on X, salty_boomer. And hopefully we can do this some more. And I'll see you again sometime. I'm going to be here every day at the same time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Scrolling X, looking at the news as it happens, looking at current events as they happen, and we all can talk about it together. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I will see you again tomorrow. Aloha.